Welcome back to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Menti. Finding housing for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities so that they can live with some type of independence. That's the goal of our next guest. Deborah Wehrlan is the author of The Journey to Community Housing with Supports, a roadmap for individuals and their families in New Jersey. Thank you for coming in. Why did you write this?
Well, we found that there was a need for families to get more information about what is available to them. Resources are hard to come by, and the systems are very complicated. So the Supportive Housing Association of New Jersey worked in cooperation with Autism New Jersey with a grant from the Council on Developmental Disabilities to prepare this document. Our intention was to put all the information that individuals and families need in one place.
Yeah, let's make this personal for a second, because as I told you, I have family members who have young children who have autism. And their greatest fear in life, and I'm sure that's the inspiration for something like this, their greatest fear in life is that what happens when they're not around anymore? What happens when those children grow up? They want them to just live a life with some kind of normalcy. And the housing with supports, I would imagine, offers that.
Yes. Most people who have intellectual and developmental disabilities live with their families, but their families may need some additional support as well.
Or may not always be there.
That's right. That's right.
And so they need somewhere to go. So what is housing with supports?
Well, supported housing is a concept that people might pull together many resources. They might get vouchers to be able to support a rental apartment. They might get some resources from state government, some from Social Security. They utilize their funds through Medicaid to provide some of those supports. In the past, many people knew of group homes, and in the past, that was sort of the most common option that families knew about. We tried to put examples in the book here that talk about a lot of different options, including supports that could be within the person's own home, or where they could live with a roommate, where they could live with a host family. So there are many different settings, and people could get those supports in all different kinds of places. They could be living in an apartment, a condo, a home of their own. They could be living alone or with other people. More and more people with disabilities want to live with other people who may not have disabilities. And we highlight one family here, Dan, who actually, his family helped him. Dan has autism. His family helped him to find a roommate who does not have a disability. And that person lives with Dan. They share a 2-bedroom condo. There are extra staff that come in to help Dan because he needs a lot of assistance. Not everyone does, but Dan does. And his roommate then looks out for him, and they go places together, and they live a very normal life living in the community.
Do the people that are looking for community housing or community housing with supports, do they get financial support? Do they need the money to live in these communities?
Well, they tend to live mostly on whatever earnings they might have if they have jobs, and also Social Security might be their primary source.
And that's enough? That's enough money?
It's not enough, but what we said in the guide is there are many places where you can go for additional supports. Like mainstream resources are highlighted in the guide, where you can get utility assistance, rental assistance. You could get help with paying your food bills and things of that sort. So people need to pull together a lot of resources because they may need a lot of support.
And those without the money, those without the resources, what happens to them? Are they left behind in this?
No, there are government resources as well. So we outlined where funding could come from other government sources. Like the New Jersey Department of Human Resources has several different divisions that could provide some supportive services as well.
And you talked about how they can contact. Did they just Google that? Is there a website that they should go to?
There's a website, and I gave it. It will be on the
on the screen. We'll put it up on the
yes.
screen. Okay,
yes.
That's perfect. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Come back when you have your success stories, and we'll share them, and maybe meet a couple of people that you can bring back that talked about how they used your book.
Be wonderful.
Thank you very much. Deborah Wehrlan is the author for The Journey to Community Housing with Supports, which is a guideline for so many families who have children or even adults who have learning and developmental disabilities, who are just looking for some type of normalcy in their lives. That wraps it up for Jersey Matters for this week. I'm Larry Menti. Stick around for another thing.